Hi, this is Rose. Welcome to my version of Loom Crochet, lesson number 3. Last time we talked about supplies, and part of the supplies was string and looms. So now we're going to go ahead and show you how to use string and loom. And the only other supply you need for this episode is a nice pair of scissors. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to go ahead and leave a pretty long tail of string. So I'm working with about that length of string. I'm going to wrap it around. The first, I have a pin loom, so I have nails here. Wrap it around about 2-3 times. And you kind of have to hold it with your finger so it doesn't keep popping off every now and then. So wrapped around 3 times, and then I'm going to tie a simple loop knot, and just one time because I want to be able to remove it again at the end, and it should stay secure. Pulling on it and staying. So in order to string a loom, it's actually very simple. I have it wrapped around the very first nail, and I'm going to wrap it around the first nail. Then I'm going to take the string and wrap it around the second nail. Bring it back and wrap it around the second nail. And all the way across. Now, as you're doing this, gently pull on it after about 2 nails so your strings stay tight, kind of like the tarch strings is what you're looking at. And bring it across to the third, and we will continue. Now my nails are 1/2 inch apart, so actually they're 1/4 inch apart. So assuming I don't want that tight a weave, I can do it just a little bit different. We're going to stop there before we get too far along here. And see if you find out it's not the way you want it, just pull it off. Now this time, to make a little wider weave, I'm going to, in a 1/2 inch, because these are 1/4 apart, I'm going to go around, tie to the first like I did, bring it up around the first 2. And when I come down, I skip 1 nail and take it around. Let me slide this over so you can see better. Take it around the first 2. So now I'm just doing 2 and bring it around, skip 1 nail, bring it around 2. And so that will give me my 1/2 inch, which actually for beginning purposes is better than your 1/4. You have 1/2 as many stitches to work with, and it gives it a little wider, easier to see. So to get my 1/4 to 1/2, I'm basically going across. Each time I go across, I skip a nail. See that there? Where it's looped over, skip, loop over, go back. And when I get back to the other side, skip 1, skip 1, loop over, 2, back, skip 1, loop over, and 2. This one I'll probably take all the way across so you can see how the whole thing looks. Through, won't take too long. So skip 1, loop over 2. Actually, it helps when I talk this through so I don't mess it up. And skip 1, string out of the way, skip 1, loop over 2, skip 1, bring it over 2. Now I'm going to make sure that my string is tight. So I just pull on it a little bit, take up any slack, so it gets my guitar strings going here. Kind of think of it as a guitar or harp. It's kind of cool. So if you feel some slack, just keep pulling. Hang on to what you've got going so it doesn't loosen itself up. And you'll find that you're getting a little more give. Okay, there we go. And bring it over 2, skip 1, bring it over 2, skip 1. Now I'm using my smaller loom, which you don't have to wait so long for me to do all this. Plus it's portable and easier to see on camera. Over 2, skip 1, over 2, almost there. Skip 1, over 2, skip 1, over 2, and almost there. Skip 1, over 2. So we get down to the last nail. So there's no over 2 anymore. So on the very last one, you have 1. So now I cut it. Meanwhile, I'm holding on to it pretty firmly here, so I'm going to give it a good tail also. So you'll see I have a pretty good tail. Once again, I'm going to wrap it around the last nail about 3 times, and then tie a simple loop knot. But that one escaped. That does happen. So got to just kind of keep pulling it a little tight. Hang on to that so it doesn't jump off your nail like mine just did. And make a simple loop knot. Bringing your tail through. And it is secured. Now my last one's a little loose, so I'm going to pull some slack off here before I actually tighten it on the nail. Okay, so now I have strung my loom, which is fairly easy to do. Just back and forth, back and forth. Just make sure whatever ½ inch, like I said, works perfect between your strings for the project. Now, let's say you wanted a narrow project. Basically, what you would do is just string up to the point you want to stop. Let's say you only want it half as big as what you have here. Just string it up halfway. My camera just a little bit. String it up halfway, stop, and then you would only be working with this portion or this portion. Pretend the rest is empty. Or you can string it down the middle too. Just start evenly here and go on to the width that you would desire. So it's very, very flexible. Now also, since we're going to be working across these looms, these strings, when your finished pattern, let's say you're making stripes, your stripes will essentially go back and forth this way. So you'll end up with the longer piece. So this is your workspace, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that's all there is to stringing a loom. It's super simple. This is ready to go for our next episode, which will be part 4, and that will be starting crocheting on your loom. This is an easy craft. I know you can do this, and we're going to have some fun with it. in our next video for sure, where we get started and actually start creating. So feel free to like, share, follow, whatever your social media or however your viewing this allows you to do. I look forward to seeing you in part 4, where we can actually get started on our piece. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to see you again. Thank you.